All right, after a ridiculously long wait, we are finally in the new update with Bristol Dirt. Um, First off, we're going to take the 410 out and just load up default set and go give it a shot. I have not done a single lap. No idea how this is going to go. Let's go ahead and sit a little bit lower. Wing forward all the way and force feedback down here. So starting off with 410, that's going to be the fastest. We're going to work our way down. Just initial thoughts, they've got it looking pretty good, except for this repetitive texture going on in there. That's a little weird, but let's see how stupid fast this is. Much better than the version I drove on someone's alpha account 2-3 years ago. Before you couldn't go down at all, and it was a complete mess. You had to stay way up here. Obviously, flat footing it, got a little off on my steering there. So 14.6, that's about a second faster than what the late models were doing in real life, in practice. Guessing you can get a little bit more down there, but it's going to get rough. There's a bit of a weird transition. Yeah, can't really use that down there. You can probably use it for a slider, but very rough transition down there as it flattens off. And I wasn't seeing too many cars go down there. So right now, fighting the front end on corner entry. Let's get best lap up, sorry. Yeah, so 15.2s is what super late models were running in real life, and looks like this is about a second quicker, and there's lots of time to gain once you start tweaking on setups. Not sure the default set is tuned to where it needs to be. It's definitely a weird transition on corner entry, but it's going to be a fast, hard race to do. Let's see what kind of stupid slide jobs things you can do. Yeah, that transition is going to be a bitch. It's not very smooth, so I don't think you're supposed to go down that far. No one in real life, I think, would do that, at least not in a sprint car. The thing I'm most worried about in the real life race is they've essentially shortened the wall halfway, and that's going to put someone in the catch fence a lot easier. So that's my only worry. You can see how the dirt comes up here, and you don't have a higher wall into the fence easier. Could be bad. So let's just chuck it back here. Just gonna be so stupid fast. Sorry, get that off of there. Let's go ahead and sit down lower. Ooh, the camera controls are weird. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Something different's going on with those. Yeah, it's gonna be a big, massive, full throttle, setup dependent track that I suck at. But lots of people will show up and race just like all the others. So let's go ahead and get the super late model. Just give me a sec to switch over. Down on the time bar, whatever it's called. You can just skip ahead to when this starts. I'll put little time hacks where each car will load up. But we'll get the super late model out there. And this should be around 15.2s for lap times. And then we'll go to the big block modified. And then UMP and Midget. And then we'll get into the slower cars, the street stock, which I think is going to be faster than the Cup Car. And then the Cup Car. Just because the Cup Car is so much heavier and less tire than the street stock. So, alright, let's see what this is like. Sorry, I keep clicking on the wrong thing there. Bristol Dirt is already loaded. I'm going to be terrible with this car. Way too sideways. Holy shit. Alright, maybe a little lift. I didn't even pitch it. It just did that on its own. Really have to catch it early on transition. So right now 2 seconds off what they're doing in real life, but also driving really bad. It's way too sideways. You're definitely not going to want to be getting sideways on entry too much like that. Doesn't really feel like it's driving off the left rear well. Like all iRacing dirt late model sets, it's a bit trash. A little touch of the brake to try to set it. A little bit lower than what I can run in the sprint car. Let's see what this transition's like in this thing. Hit the damn wall because I can't see it. I'm gonna have to sit lower in this thing. Alright, so about a second off of what they're doing in real world. The numbers are screwed up. For some reason it does that in test sessions. But, yeah, a little work to do. Thing was just pitching way too much. Let's see if I can get a default cam that doesn't suck. It's going to be a tough track for some of these all-out speed cars. That's enough of looking terrible in the late model. Let's throw the big block in there. I don't know how this thing's going to drive. It wasn't too bad at Eldora. The question is really, once we get into racing, how high up is that grip going to push? And with a elongated corner where the corners are much wider than the straightaway, is it going to make the top harder to carry the speed? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think the Cup cars are going to be awesome in it. I think a lot of these other cars are not going to be as fun because it's just wide open throttle. Sit a little bit lower. Thing's probably going to be around a 18 or a 19 the way it's feeling. No. Right now a little quicker than what I was doing in the late model, I think. But I'm also not wasting a bunch of time going sideways. Late model definitely needs tightened up. Really getting around the bottom better. Let's see how low we can make. Nope. Bad transition. It's going to be a bit like USA on that corner entry. You can get down there, but it's going to be a bit rough getting down there. Oh yeah, that'll toss you. Definitely not meant to be as low as you can get there. Thinking right about here. Center of corner you can get down there, but on corner entry and exit it's gonna be too big of a transition. Could cause a few wrecks just by people hitting that and then jumping up. So 16.7s with default set. Probably gonna see people getting down 16.0s or lower once everyone starts getting the tweaks figured out. Doesn't feel as bad, but it's still gonna be really tough to pass just because you're pretty much full throttle. Now obviously once it slicks off, things will change. But at the moment, quicker than the super late model. Let's move on to UMP. Give that a shot, see what it feels like. Have not ran it yet. And it's supposed to have changes in the feel, so might be a little hard to tell from here at this track. But yeah, I think really the car that's going to be the most fun is going to be the trucks and the Cup car. Because they're going to be slower, but not full throttle slower. Like the 305s and the limited late models are going to just suck here. But that's because you're slower and full throttle. The Cup cars, you're going to have to actually drive a bit and use some throttles. So let's see what we get. I feel like my camera's a little close. Interesting. Not sure how I feel about okay. So I think they've definitely got this thing so that it doesn't jump sideways, or the changes have completely might have completely changed how everything is. A little bit slower than the big block, but nearly right on it. Kind of surprising. It's a very dead feel. Doesn't feel like the big blocks. Like, the big block when I got in it was the first time I knew it was going to be great. Now, it could just be this track because we're essentially putting a UMP Modified on Talladega. But car feels really boring, very unstable. Not impressed with the changes so far. It also doesn't feel like it's leaning over. So it could just be something in the setup. Let's take a look at it from a different view. Yeah, the rear end is definitely hardly moving. I don't know if they've nerfed that. The reflection is god-awful. I don't remember it looking like that on this car. Okay, well, definitely need to nerf the reflection a bit on this thing too, but this setup might just suck, but it is going to be a fixed setup series now, so yeah, not sure what to think. Let's go grab the Midget, which is going to be very weird around here, I think. And then we'll get into the Cup stuff, or the NASCAR stuff. Yeah, I know it's Bristol, so maybe that had a little effect on it, but I don't like how that Modified felt. Like, there was a fun thing about the Modified with it, being a lot of yaw and driving it. The front end just felt really wobbly. But, again, probably setting it up to go straight and not losing a bunch of time being sideways. Do we even have a Bristol setup? I assume so, since I bet everything's going to be here. We do. Very low rear end in this one. Don't even think this thing's got gearing to make it. Yeah, I thought it was going to be chipping out harder. Bit loose. I'm guessing once we start working on setups a bit, we'll be chipping out earlier. Slowest car of the bunch though, 18.3 or 18.1, sorry. Gonna sneak under a 17 here, or sneak under an 18.0 and get into the 17s. 17.868. It's, kind of like Eldora, except for tighter corners. Guessing the transition would really mess things up for this thing down here. Wonder how hard the top side is to run. Yep, that's about how it goes when I get near the top. Yeah, so, as I thought, that would be very boring. Of course, damage model in these sucks, so you can't even really dig in when you do flip it, so you don't get those crazy flips. It just sits on its top and spins. It's a weird flip, too. No idea what that was. So, that car will be very boring in it. Let's go grab the street stock. So I forgot about that. I'm still predicting the street stock's going to be faster than the Cup Car. Could be wrong. I'm usually wrong, but luckily everything's loading up nice and quick. Hopefully it's been showing up. I just looked over and it wasn't loading up on my recording thing there. Alright, so do not want Limaland, Bristol Dirt. Alright. Just trying to get the damn thing to rotate. I have to start turning in a little early. Down on the transition. Doesn't really affect this thing too much. We're sitting at 21 twos. Yeah, definitely going to be able to get it in the 20s. Almost. A little high, washed up on me. I'm gonna run at the line. Should get me in the 20s. 21.712. Yeah, this thing is really damn boring. People are gonna love it. There you go. 20.8. Nearly fell asleep, but that's just because speed doesn't translate well. I'm sure doing 100 miles an hour in a street stock in real life would be scary as hell, but yeah, in sim racing, it's just you're going slow, you're flat-footing it, and it's just a little boring. So let's grab this Cup Car. Hopefully the Cup Car is working as intended. I know they just had to roll out a quick update right at the end of this to fix something. But yeah, I think this is where it's at. This car is going to be more fun because you're going to have to actually drive it a bit. All the rest are essentially just hooked up. But I think everyone knew that was going to be the case, so got Bristol Dirt, and we'll just leave Bristol Dirt open, setup in. Keeping force feedback down to 4.1. I can't have that page on. I like this page. There we go. Now you got to use the throttle a bit. This thing is going to be slow as hell. Did not rotate. First time in this. The engine's doing something really weird. I had tried Knoxville out, with the Cup tires, and I don't know what's going on with the engine there. 21.2. It's going to be right in line with the street stock, but harder to drive, which makes it a hell of a lot cooler.
21.137.
Oh shit. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that when we get to the NIS race and open race. Very easy to just shove the nose. Rotate. That's... You can see a lot of that as well. I have no idea what's going on with the engine at 5,000 RPM, but it just flutters there. There we go. It really likes that transition there.
20.933.
10th off the street stock, and I'm driving terrible. There's something wrong with the engine model. Like, that fluttering is weird. Unless I'm just being stupid and that's how it's supposed to be. Alright. Looks like we're going to be quicker than the street stock. Just barely. But yeah, way more fun to drive than the street stock, or actually any of the dirt cars. I would love to see a mile track running something like this on it, along with the big blocks. Yeah, that fluttering is weird. I have never experienced that. Something is up with the engine. Yeah, alright, so it is just slightly quicker than the street stock. It's going to be fun. I think the races are going to be really tough. Just like the trucks at Eldora. Very easy for things to go wrong with this. But yeah, I mean, Bristol Dirt is exactly what I thought it would be like. I'm glad that they didn't use what they had 2 years ago and did it the right way. So, just not just a retexture of it. So that's a positive. And Cup cars on dirt are just like trucks on dirt. And they look a hell of a lot better than their counterparts for paved racing because the splitter's taken off of that. Or it's just under the ground. I don't know which one. But yeah, let me know if you're having weird issues with the engine there at RPMs. It's a weird one, but there you go. Quick little preview, and let me know what you think of it. Sure, once we get into racing, it will get a little better, but yeah, right now, pretty much all the dirt cars full throttle. Cup and truck will be the best. Thanks for watching.